What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is Rayvon from Love Lola, and today we're going to be finishing up the Michael Traveler by Uh-Oh Creations. All right, let's get this bag done. I just realized that I lost the clip in part 1 of how to anchor the stabilizer to the strap anchor. It's super easy. Please go to page 4 and reference number 6 on how to do that. You're just going to fuse the anchor to the stabilizer. Then reference page 6, number 14, which tells you to measure 3 inches from the top edge and top stitch along both sides. Okay, now grab your zipper facing piece, and that piece is going to be 12 inches long by 2 inches wide, and flip it over so that the wrong side is facing up. Grab a ruler and measure down 3/4 of an inch and draw a line across the whole panel. And then from that line, measure down 3/8 of an inch and draw another line completely across. Now measure in 1 inch from each side and draw a line up and down. Ignore that top line, that was an accident. Now you're gonna go and make a line down the middle of that box you made. Straight down the middle. Grab one of your main panels, measure down 3 inches, find the center of this panel, and line it up the center. Get that on. All right, I got it pinned. Now we're gonna head over to the machine and we are going to stitch directly on that box that we just drew, all the way around. All right, now I got that attached, and then I grabbed a seam ripper and I just went right along that line down the middle, ripped it open, and in the corners, I cut little triangles. And now we're gonna just turn that through. If you're able to press it, then go ahead and do that. It will make it easier. If not, just, do what it do. I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on here just because I'm tired. I ain't got time to be fighting with this. Okay, now grab your pocket. You want your zipper opening to the right and closing to the left. I'm going to place some double-sided tape on here again because it just makes life easier. I'm going to place this panel over it, centering it as best I can. Try to get your zipper right down the middle. All right, and now we're gonna go and stitch around the entire thing as close as you can get to the edge of the main panel. I did back stitch on the sides because I'm turning my bag out and I just feel like, I feel like it's about to get nuts. So I just wanted to reinforce it a little bit just in case I am, All right, so now we are going to take this top piece and bend it down. If you are going to be doing binding, then now go ahead and close up this pocket all of the way. If you're going to be turning it out through the bag like me, what we are going to do is leave this bottom piece open. But I'm going to leave more than a bottom piece open because I feel like it's going to be, trying to get that through. I'm going to sew down probably about 2 inches and back stitch really well. That way we can have a little bit more room as we're trying to get that big bag through instead of trying to shift it through this whole tunnel. So I'm gonna close it up about 2 inches, back stitch really, really well, and then the rest of it will close up later after we get the bag through, okay? All right, there we go. Ready for war. All right, so grab your base, your lining base, and we're gonna lay it, let's get our panel and turn it right side up. And then lay our base right side down. If you are going to be turning your bag out, you will be joining this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you're going to be binding it, then you need to join it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, really quick. If you are going to be binding your bag, she said that when you get this sewn together, press your seams up towards the main panel instead of the base, and that's going to help you reduce the bulk in the seam. So If you're turning it like me, do what I did. If you're going to bind it, press your seams up. All right. We're going to press our seam going towards the bottom. And now we're going to go and top stitch on this bottom base piece at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. When you get done with that, just repeat the same thing to the other side. Grab your other main panel, get it attached at the correct seam allowance, bend it down, fold it down, and add that top stitch. I'm sorry guys, I lost my footage, but so now we're on page 9, number 13. We're going to place 2 lining gathered pockets right sides together and sew along the top and the bottom at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Turn it out and press the seams. Grab your elastic. Make sure that you have this pocket right side facing up. It should be a little bit shorter on the top than it is on the bottom. Top stitch this at 3/4 of an inch, and then afterwards we can go and put the elastic through it. All right, and if you decide to do it this way where you're going to pull your elastic through it, go ahead and trim down your seam allowance. Okay, once you get that in, we're going to work on the bottom really quick. So we're going to top stitch across the bottom at about 1/2 of an inch. But make sure that you use a really large stitch length, okay? The biggest you can do in your machine. And also make sure that you leave the strings long on both the beginning and the end, because we're going to basically grab the string, you know, and pull it. Kind of like when you do a tutu, if you ever made a tutu. But anyway, yes, so let's go do that. Sewing it at 1/2 of an inch seam allowance, leaving the threads long on the ends, and using a large stitch length. Okay, so grab one of your threads that is going to let you pull. There we go, good. And we're going to pull on that thread and gather this until we have it at about, what does it say? About 11 inches. Okay, and when you get it at 11 inches, just tie a little knot, and that'll stop it from moving anymore. And then we want the top piece to measure 9.5 inches. Once you get it where it needs to be, head over to the machine and baste along the sides. We're going to baste along both sides. Right over that elastic, right over the edge of this. All right, once I have that done, I'm going to play around with it just to try to get it to where it's gathered, you know, kind of evenly. You don't want it super tight on one side and then really loose on the other. I'm going to go ahead and snip that off since it's done. Okay, grab one of your lining end pieces. Okay, we have 2 of those. Grab one of those and place it right side facing up. And then we're going to place this piece that we just worked on 1 inch up from the bottom, okay? And once we get it right there, I am going to pin on each side just to help me keep it in place. All right, and now I'm going to put a few pins in it just to kind of help it stay where it needs to be. We want it about 1 inch up from the bottom. I'm going to pin along the sides. So we are going to go and top stitch along this bottom to attach this to the lining piece at about 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom. And then we're going to continue and do the side. So I'm going to start right here actually. Go down the side, top stitch along the bottom, and back up. And now we are actually going to take out that stitch that we did earlier, the one that we did in a really big stitch length. Yeah, we're going to pull that right on out. That's pretty cool. That's so cool. I like that. I've never seen a pocket done like that before. Okay, that's cool. All right, so now just repeat the whole process to get the other side done, okay? All right, guys, so grab your zippers. and cut them so that they are exactly 24.5 inches long. Then you want to measure down 1 inch on the left of one side of the zipper and on the right of one side of the zipper. So I've already done this one, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite sides to this one. So I made a mark at 1 inch, and now I'm just going to pinch at that mark, folding it over to a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to add a few stitches to that to hold it. Grab your lining zipper gusset, lay it right side up, and mark down 1.5 inch, and then right there, go ahead and install your male part of the magnetic snap. Make sure that you use some kind of stabilizer on the back. Grab your gusset piece and use your pattern to mark where you're going to be placing your zippers, okay? Grab your zippers, and you're going to be placing them right side down, and you want the shorter piece to be going towards the outside. And you want that shorter piece to be what's lined up with the mark that we made, okay? There we go. I put some double-sided tape just to make sure that my zipper stays on pretty well. Now what we're going to do is lay our lining on top of that, right side down. So our gusset is right side facing up. Our zippers are right side facing down. And now our gussets are going to be, our gusset is going to go right side facing down. All right, and now we're going to pin around the entire thing. All right, let's go sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. We're starting here at the bottom, all the way down, around, and back to the end. We are not sewing the straight part, okay? Okay, so go ahead and trim down the foam and your seam allowance. Slip into your corners just a little bit around the curve. All right, and let's let's turn it out. We can do it. It's a little difficult, but it's manageable. Let me show you what I'm doing that has kind of helped me out. So I opened it up to get my pathway as clear as possible, and then I reach in with my pliers and I grab the end of a zipper that isn't attached. I reach in about 1.5 inches and grab that, and then I hold this and pull. Then I use my fingers to just try to open it up as much as possible, because you want to keep that pathway clear so it doesn't start getting twisted. Okay, and once I've gotten that opened up a little bit, I reach in now for the other zipper, a couple of inches in with my pliers. Do the same thing. Okay. Straighten it out and just keep repeating it. Be gentle when you're pulling this zipper, obviously. But yeah, that's what's helping me get it turned out. See? All right, now let's finger press our seams as best as we can. And now we're going to go and top stitch up and around the entire thing on the exterior gusset material, okay? Okay, so we have our gusset right side up. This is what we're going to call our zipper gusset. Now we're going to grab one of our top gussets, and then we're going to place it right side down. And what we want to do is make the top of this zipper line up with the top of this piece. Pin it together, and then we're going to go and baste it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Once we get that attached to the main gusset, you're going to fold it down, And then we're going to flip it over so that the zipper part of the gusset is facing up. And then we're going to grab the lining that matches that side, and we're going to place it right side facing down. No! And we're going to get it pinned together. And then we're going to go and get it attached, sewing directly over the line that we just stitched. Once you get that lining attached, you're going to kind of press the seams open and then go and top stitch through all of that material along the zipper, okay? Once you get that done, then you need to repeat the process to the other side, okay? I've already started doing that just because I like to do them together as I go, but yeah, repeat that process to the other side. All right, there we go. Okay, so grab one of your end pieces with the pocket on it. Place your gusset right side facing up and line up the corners of your gusset lining and that pocket piece, okay? So your linings are right side touching each other. Just kind of tuck this exterior piece of the gusset out of the way and get those edges lined up. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and we are going to go, just kind of move this out of the way, this middle part as best as you can. All right, and we're gonna go and sew this from the edge up into the zipper. And we're gonna be doing it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So we're doing this side and we're doing this side. Okay, once we've got our lining sewn together, we're gonna lay our gusset right side facing up, and then we're gonna grab our end piece that has the magnetic snap attached to it, and we're gonna lay it right side down. And we're going to match up the corner of this end piece with the corner of this zipper gusset piece. Now, when we do this, we want to remove that lining out of the way. We don't want to include the lining in this. We're basically doing the same thing we just did to the lining side to the exterior side. Okay. Same thing to the other side. Get those corners matched up. There we go. Now we are going to go and sew this little section. Now we're going to go from that point to the outside, but now we're not going to be attaching that lining. We want to move that lining piece out of the way. This is only going to be our exterior end piece and that side, that top gusset piece, okay? We're going to do that on both sides. Make sure you do not catch that lining. Make sure that you are really reinforcing this area where the strap anchor is, okay? Okay, and now what we're going to be doing is sewing from the outside edge of one zipper across this middle piece to the outside edge of the other zipper. Make sure that this middle gusset piece is out of the way, okay? We do not want to sew that. Whew, Lord, we don't want to sew that. Okay, so to recap, we're going to be sewing from here to here, joining the end piece with that lining end piece. Now we're going to be doing it kind of blindly, so if you want to draw a line on the outside, you can. I'm going to find my zipper right there and make a mark. There, make a mark. Okay, so we're going to be sewing across here. All right, let's go get it. Okay, once you have those attached, you're going to press the end pieces away from the gusset and top stitch only from the outside of one zipper to the outside of the other zipper. All right, looking good, looking good. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other end. I'll do it with you because I know that this can get confusing. At least for me, it can. Just a friendly reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe. So we're going to grab our other lining end and place it right side up. And then we're going to grab our gusset and place it lining side down. We're going to line up the corners of our lining. Making sure that we're moving that exterior gusset piece out of the way. On both sides. Okay, and we're going to go and sew the linings together from here to the outside of the zipper on both sides. Okay, now let's grab our other end piece and place it right side down, matching up our corners. And we're going to do just like before. We are going to go and sew from the outer edge of our zipper. So right here to the outer edge of this zipper. So right here. And that's going to be attaching this end piece, our gusset in the middle, and the lining from here to here. So let's go ahead and get that pinned. Okay, now, last thing, we are going to move the lining piece out of the way. And we are going to sew. And we are going to go and stitch from where we just finished that last top stitch to the end. Again, make sure that you are back stitching or just reinforcing where that anchor is. And we're doing that on both sides, okay? Again, when you're done, press the end pieces away from the gusset and top stitch only from the outside of one zipper to the outside of the second zipper. Okay, so grab your main lining panel right side up, and we're going to place it where the zipper pocket is at the top. Grab your gusset and place it right side up. And you want the end that opens over here on the left side. Wrong. You need to place it the other direction. I did it backwards. Okay, so lay your gusset so that it's centered with the center of the top of the main lining. Move the exterior piece out of the way and pin together those lining pieces. We're going to pin along the straight edge only, and then we're going to go and stitch that at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so when it starts to curve, that's when we're going to stop. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Let's get the other side situated, okay? Line up those midpoints and pin the lining along the straight edge, and then we're going to go and sew it at 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, now I am going to find the mid piece of my lining base, and I'm going to match it up to the mid piece of my end lining piece. And starting from there, I am going to pin my lining together all the way up to where I ended my lining a minute ago on that straight stitch. Okay, so I have pinned around the I have pinned the lining entirely together, starting at that mid piece. Even though I have it completely marked right now, even though I have it completely clamped together right now, I'm only going to sew my straight edges. So I'm going to go from about maybe 2 inches up from where the gusset meets the end lining piece, right there. About 2 inches up, and I'm going to sew along that straight line until the curve starts. So from about here to here, I'm going to go sew that at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Actually, I'm going to start from the bottom straight part and sew up, because if everything lines up, you'll be able to continue and finish up that little curve at the top. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. From here to here. The reason we're doing that is because it's going to make it a little bit easier if we sew the curves last. Just for fun, I'll show you how my machine manhandles everything. This is what's so great about having a cylinder arm. When you're working on big bags like this, you know, it just makes it a little bit easier. And I'm actually going to go ahead and continue sewing this until I reach that other line, because it has worked out perfectly. There is no issues whatsoever on my curve. So I am going to go ahead and sew that to connect to the other lining piece. To connect to where I left off my stitches earlier on the lining. The sewing gods have aligned. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's see if I'm so lucky for that to happen again. Get over there. Okay, now that I have those two sides done, I'm going to go ahead and connect it from one end to the other. When you finish that, if you did not connect your top piece, go ahead and sew that top curve as well. Once you finish that, do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, and let's trim down our seam allowances. All right, now we're going to repeat those same steps with the exterior. So we've got our exterior piece. We're going to turn it so that the side with the pocket is up. We're going to grab our panel, and we want this top gusset piece facing down, so we're going to rotate it. So now this part is going to be going towards the right.
Just kidding. It should be going towards the left.
I'm going to zip it all the way. I think it's going to make life easier. I'm just going to tuck it inside. Find my mid piece and match it up with the mid piece of the panel. We're going to pin it. Once we get it pinned, we're going to sew across the straight part only, just like before. And we're going to be using 3/8 inch seam allowance. You should not be including the lining on this part. This is just the exterior fabrics. Okay, we've got that first side attached. Rotate it. Grab the other top gusset piece. This is a lot of bag, okay? Woo, Lord. All right, line up those mid pieces, pin it, and go and sew it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now the reason that we do the corners last is because sometimes when you get to the corners, for whatever reason, you may have a little overlap going on. That's fine. Just get your straight edges lined up and sewn together, and then when you get to the part where you have that little overlap maybe, you can just trim that down. You know, get everything situated, lined up, and then just trim the excess off. And then you can just keep it moving. Okay? Perfect. All right. If you have made it here, congratulations. We are at the finish line. You know, at this point, you can skip your trip to the gym and you don't have to feel bad about it because, baby, that was a workout. All right, so what we can do now is go and trim down our seam allowances. I don't know if I will because that's just where I am in life right now. I don't think I feel like trimming this down. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, you can go ahead and trim. Yeah, let me do it. Trim that down a little bit. Okay, once we have it trimmed down, she says that along the gusset part, right here, you can pinch together the seam allowance for the lining and the exterior, and then baste them together from one end to the other to prevent the lining from slouching in the bag. So from here, I guess, to about here. All right, so we're going to baste from here to here on both sides to help the lining not be slouchy. All right, guys, here we go. Moment of truth. We're going to turn this baby through. You know what? If we were able to get that gusset turned through, this should be a walk on the beach. A walk in the park. I don't know. Oh, I can't lie. I'm scared. I'm scared, but it's cool. It's cool. We got it. We got it. Y'all ready? All right, let's get it. All right, so now we're going to grab those handles that we made earlier. So you want to put your handle through from the bottom up and then fold it over.
The instructions say to fold it over by 1.5 inch and then slip it around the rectangle ring.
And then you can either go to your machine and top stitch along there, or you can add a couple of rivets. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. And then you're going to take the other end, make sure that you don't twist it. And you're going to also run that up, through, and over. Now you can get really creative at this point. If you want to add some end connectors, you can, although they'd have to be really thick because we got a lot of stuff going on right here. So yeah, figure out if you want to do rivets or if you want to sew it. You know, if you feel like it's too heavy to get this on your machine, you can always hand stitch that. Sometimes I get stuck on something and then I think, right, you know how to stitch by hand. You can just do that. So if this bag is getting too heavy for you or things are getting too thick, just get you a needle and thread and get that taken care of. Okay, once you feel confident, you know, isn't this part supposed to be on the left side? from the front. Oh my gosh, I must have done something backwards. So sorry if your opening is on the right side instead of the left. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't know why. Okay, anyway. Once you're sure that everything is good to go, everything looks good to me. Oh, you know what? I did not add my stabilizer. I hadn't added my stabilizer and my, what is this, foam to my bottom piece, my base, because I was nervous about turning it out. So now, if you didn't add yours yet either, just grab some kind of fabric glue, get your stabilizer cut out, and then just go and place it in through that zipper. That's what I'm going to do really quick. Okay, once you get that done, go ahead and pull your zipper through. Pull your zipper pocket through. And we are going to get that closed up. Just turn it in along the side seam. Just like you would do the bottom, the way you tuck the bottom in. Tuck the sides in. Pin it. And also tuck the bottoms in. You can cut that piece. One side is going to be a little bit longer. You can cut it if you want to. Or you can just bend it in. It doesn't matter. Bend it in. Get it pinned. So go and get your whole zipper pocket closed in. Alright guys, that's it. She's done. How cool. I love those little side pockets. That is very nice. Okay, so let's grab our straps.
Just the strap and leave it done.
And then I gotta go take some pictures.
Yeah. Where?
All right, that's it. We're done. Oh my gosh, I love her. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is nice. All right, guys, that's it. You made it. You're done. Do you love it? You have to love it. You don't have to answer that. I know you love it. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you make this bag, I would love to see it. Tag me. I'm on Instagram at LoveLolaLooks. I'm on Facebook, Love Lola. I'm on TikTok at LoveLolaLooks. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, please, please. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. See you guys next time. Bye.